So this is a Sprite Major 4FB. We're just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van we've got a jockey wheel hitch and handbrake, and we'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you've got your spare wheel tie down, and you've got two gas bottle tie downs as well, with your gas regulator on the bulkhead. We do have the gas pipe work here available should you need it at £15 a pipe. Gas bottles, we're a little bit low on those at the moment, so we haven't actually got any available. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your heating and hot water flue out the side of the van. So you then got your heating and hot water flue. Heating and hot water flue is very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. We've then got our wind down legs on the other side of the front to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. They're only there for stabilising, not lifting the caravan. You've then got your water pump connection on the side of the van. You pull back the blue trigger and release the pump from the side of the van and push it in and lock the pump in place. The pickup pipe drops completely to the bottom of the ack roll, and you need to make sure it's fully submerged in water prior to turning the water pump on. If it isn't fully submerged in water, it could potentially draw air up inside the system. You've then got your battery and your mains power lead. The battery is just on there to demonstrate everything is working. Should you need leisure battery, we do have these available on site also to purchase. Mains power lead plugs into the power on site and then into the connection on the van. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air out of the fridge unit and take some cool air in. There's a gas flue behind the top cover also, so the gas flue is essentially there to let the heating system breathe. You've then got your motor mover and wheel nuts. The wheel nuts will be torqued prior to the caravan leaving site, and will also demonstrate the motor mover to you while you're here. Two grey pipes coming out the side of the van are very simply there to allow the waste out of the water system on board the van. So it goes in fresh at the front and comes out the van once it's been through the sinks and the shower on board the van. You've then got your toilet flush tank. The toilet flush tank is very simply there to allow you to flush the toilet system. You'll open this up and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. You've then got your toilet waste tank. You plug the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees, tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. You've then got an orange pressure relief button on the back of the cassette to tip the waste away when the cassette is full. So you need to press that in so it allows the air out, so it comes out a lot smoother. You've got you need to put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. Back of the van, you've got your two wind down legs, as you can see, to stabilise the caravan, and then you've got your storage locker underneath the bed on the far side of the caravan, or on the door side of the caravan also. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now, above the door, you've got your main control panel for the caravan, so you turn the main power on, just here. You've got an indicator, so you've got mains power coming from the post on the outside of the caravan. You've then also got a dot on the caravan to indicate that you have power coming into the van. You've got your leisure battery voltage on the left hand side, and you've got your vehicle battery voltage on the right hand side, which tells you how much power the car is putting into the caravan when you are towing it down the road. View levels will do the same thing again. It will bring up each level on each side, and when you are connected to the car, you'll have an orange light on the car and a green light on the caravan. Water pump run I will come back to in a moment. Once you've turned on this main control panel, you can turn on your Truma control panel for the heating and hot water. Before you ever turn off this control panel, you need to make sure you turn off the Truma control panel completely by pressing the central button and holding. It will come up with off on the screen, and when that screen goes completely blank, you can then turn off your control panel on the right hand side here. But I'm just going to turn that back on for now so it's ready for when we demonstrate the heating and hot water. However, before we demonstrate the heating and hot water and how to fill the water system, we're just going to need to come underneath this seat on the front right hand side. And underneath here, you're going to find your master power switch for the caravan on and off. So you're going to press the button down and pop the switch up, which will isolate all the power onto the inside of the caravan. You've then got your 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. You then got your reverse polarity for when you're in some European countries. Charger for the 12 volt battery on board the van. Heating and hot water main power switch, and then you've got a spare fuse on the end here, which doesn't operate anything at the moment. If you had some at 240 wires fitted, you could wire it through the spare fuse on the end here. You've then got your 240 trip switches. If you want to check to make sure you've got mains power coming in, hit the test switch. If this switch drops down, it means there is mains power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. You'll notice each of these fuses marked below. the same as the fuses. Next to them it has a number. And on the door below the cabinet that opens up just here, you will have your 230 for your 230 volt systems. It will tell you what each of the fuses is for, and the same for the 12 volt fuses. Also in this cabinet you'll have a yellow drain down valve. That yellow drain down valve needs to be flat with the floor prior to filling the water system up, and upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat to drain the water system down, so flat with the floor to fill the system up. Once that valve is flat with the floor, you'll come over to every tap on board the caravan and open them all up on the hot side of the water system. At that point you can come over to the control panel above the door and turn on the water pump. Once the water system is completely full, you'll have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan. And once that system is completely full, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you can start thinking about warming and heating, warming the water up and heating the caravan. So to do this, we're going to come to the control panel above the door, and with it turned on, we're going to press the central button so it takes us into the options for that. Just hoping that's going to clear up a little bit so you can see the screen a little bit better. So top left hand side, you'll see that you have a motorhome symbol flashing away here, and we're going to press the central button to access it, then use the dial in the centre to control the room temperature of the caravan. So it goes left or right to control the room temperature. The higher you go, the hotter the caravan will be internally. If you turn it to the off position, that will be the heating off, and to select a temperature on here or the off position, you just need to press the central button and it will set it. You come across to the right when you're on this home screen, and it will take you to hot water options. You press the central button and you've got off, eco, which is just a base setting, so it warms the water up gradually, hot, so it brings it up to a hot temperature, as I'm sure you can probably appreciate, and then boost for when you're showering on board the caravan. So to select the boost system, hit the boost, and it will boost for as long as you need it to. Do advise when you're done using it on boost that you turn it back off. I'm going to leave it on boost for now so you can see the water system is warming up. If I come across to the right hand side here, you've got the option of what power source you want to use for the caravan. So you've got electric, which is 2000 watts, electric 1000 watts, mix 2, which is 2000 watts and gas at the same time, mix 1, which is a combination of 1000 watts and gas at the same time, and then you've got gas on its own. If it fails to ignite on gas, it will come up with an error code on this screen here. On site here, we're just going to run it on electric at the moment, so as you can see the electric is now turned on at the top here, and we're running on 1000 watts. If we come across to the right just here and hit the button, it will allow us to control the fan speed inside the caravan. So with the heating on, it will allow you to operate this. To turn the heating on, then come into here, and then it will come up vent, hit the central button, and then you can control the fan speed on the dial in the centre here. Back on the home screen, you will notice there's a few extra options down here on the bottom of the screen. For these, we do advise you read the manual fully that comes with the caravan. If I tried to explain these in the video, it would probably take me around 2 to 3 hours to complete. So that's your heating and hot water. Like I said, you do need to make sure you fully turn off this control panel prior to turning off the main control panel on the right hand side here. Next up, we're going to go to the fridge. So to turn the fridge on, press and hold the power button. Let me just turn it back off. Press and hold the power button and the fridge will come on. Now to select the power source you want to use, at the moment it's trying to ignite on gas. Now when it fails to ignite on gas, it's going to start flashing the screen here to let you know it has failed to ignite. Change your power source, press and hold the grey button. You come across to the left. 12 volt mode is for when you're towing down the road, and essentially when you connect to the car, it will allow you to use the fridge as a cool box. To select it, hit the central button. You won't have a temperature control at that point, so again hit the grey button. And at the moment it is flashing as we are not connected to the car. Like I said, it will depend on if you have the right connection on the car to whether this operates. Press and hold the grey button again, and we can go over to the 240 volt mode. Now on 240 volt mode or gas, you can actually control the fridge temperature. So you hit the grey button, and when it starts flashing the symbols on this side, you can use the arrows left or right to control the temperature of the fridge. Obviously the more bars you have lit up, the colder the fridge will be. Hit the grey button and it will set the fridge to operate on 240 mains and whatever temperature you have selected here. Microwave works off 240 mains, so that will only work when you're on a mains powered site. Hob grill and oven, all work very much like your household appliances, no difference at all there. Underneath the bed you have your storage that you can access, and storage in the cupboard here on the left hand side. Your table for the caravan is also on the left hand side as you walk through to the back of the caravan. Then in the back of the caravan you have your toilet system. The toilet system has very simply a blue button on top here to allow the toilet to flush. You have a toilet full indicator light that will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, the toilet does need to be back in the straight on position. Below the toilet again, you'll see there is, or below the toilet, you'll see there is a grey waste handle. When you're using the toilet, that needs to be pushed over to the right hand side here. And when you're not using the toilet, it needs to be back in the central position. The reason for this is if it's not in the central position, it will not allow you to remove that cassette from underneath the caravan. And also, if it's in the open position, it will allow smells up inside the van. So this is a Sprite Major 4FB. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.